Tell us about Florida's Space Coast.
Florida Space Coast? Talk about that.
Tell us what it is.
Geography questions?
In a sense. Go for it.
All right.
Just right with you.
Oh yeah. So cosmopolitan. Well, I can relate to that, right? International. So for Florida area is that Florida constant? Space Coast. Well, if I think about Florida, I always think about the beach, sunshine, and geographically that would attract a lot of tourists here because not only the resources we have, but also people in here. We have a big heart where we feel like welcome for people who are not from here. So in general, I love Florida because the people and also the weather. Thank you.
Mark Shearer, tell us about Florida's surf coast.
So speaking of the Space Coast, has some of the best surfing spots in all of Florida. In fact, I can recall many a time as a young youth watching the shuttle go up. And my buddies and I, we would go over and we would paddle out into the water and we would catch some tasty waves as the shuttle was going up. And one day, it's quite memorable, it was a clear blue sky day, absolutely magnificent, on the 4th of July, I forget what year it was, but what an incredible day, not only to have fireworks go off that day, but to have the most beautiful launch I've ever seen in the shuttle. Absolutely amazing. One of the best locations on the East Coast and the Space Coast is Playa Linda. How many of you have been to Playa Linda? Incredible, incredible. It's remote. Better watch where you walk because you might find some folks without some clothing. But some of the really nice, pristine waves here in the state of Florida is absolutely beautiful. And thank you for allowing me to share that with you this morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Amy White, tell us about Florida's Sun Coast.
Okay, I have to follow that. I think that's kind of unfair. Someone who doesn't like table topics to follow, you know, this winter here. But the Sun Coast, is that an actual place or is it just all of Florida?
It's St. Petersburg to Clearwater and the very island of Florida.
Okay, well, it is super beautiful out there, so I don't know if you haven't been, it's time for you to go. When my stepdaughter was little, she and her friends started playing Truth or Dare, and I remember being out on a float with her, and it must have been the time that all these little seahorses were born, because they were like this big, and they were everywhere. It was kind of too much, actually. But what could I ask her? She was young and, you know, wasn't even a teenager yet. So when I said Truth or Dare, she said Dare, and I saw this little piece of seaweed floating by. And I was like, take a bite of the seaweed. And she's like, what? I'm like, people eat seaweed all over the world. It's not a bad thing. So she actually did. And we still laugh about it today. And she's in her 30s, so it's gotten a lot of mileage.
Jordan Cantor, are you eligible for a table topic this morning?
Not eligible.
Okay. Linda Spear, tell us about Florida's cultural coast.
Where they all talk like Carson.
Fellow Toastmasters, cultural coast, is this a defined place?
Anna Maria Island,
Or is this a mystery?
Anna Maria Island, Toledo Key.
What's that?
Anna Maria Island, Toledo Key.
Anna Maria Island to Toledo Key. Boy, I'm lost. I'm lost. So I'm going to just take that work. I don't know where Anna Maria Island is, so.
Southwest.
Tampa Bay. Oh. I'm assuming that Cultural Bay maybe Sarasota area too, where the
Orlando.
Am I right? Am I right? Okay. So I know there's a lot of museums there. There's the Dolly Museum. Last year, we went over and saw the Ringling Museum, which if no one's ever been to the Ringling Museum, it's really fascinating because they've taken all of these old circus memorabilia, they've got trained models, like you see in Europe, like that whole model of an entire circus back in the day. And they have buggies and everything. Lots of history. It's a great place to go. That's the culture I like. Thank you very much.
Justine, like to do? Amen. Tell us about the city of Key West, also known as the Congo Republic.
So, I lived in Florida for 3 years now, but I didn't realize how hot it got until this year because the last 2 years I was either at home or in New Jersey. But this summer I had to go to school, so when going to school I had to walk through buildings, well, past buildings, to get to other classrooms, and it's super hot. I didn't realize how hot it was. I was talking with my dad, and he said, yeah, you've just never been outside. I was like, yeah. But yeah, that's it, thank you.
Allison Richards, tell us about Florida's treasure trove.
Florida's treasure coast, I believe that is the area where Treasure Island is, Madeira, Tampa area, is that Treasure Coast?
No, that's the Gulf Coast. Treasure Coast is Vero Beach, Melbourne Beach.
Actually, I was just at the beach last week, Melbourne, very close to Vero. It was hot, I got in the water, I turned around to get out. It was one of those days where when you walk in and it's all the shells and there's seaweed and then you're down here, you know? So you're there, all right, you get wet, you're trying to get out and the waves are crashing right on top of you. I turn around and there's a shark. No joke, at least 4 feet. Light brown and yellowish in color, trying to figure out what that is. And it wasn't just me. I'm not making this up. My friend was there and she completely saw. Too bad I didn't have a camera right there to take a picture. But the water was beautiful. The East Coast is my favorite. There's usually waves. You can surf. My daughter surfs. It's a lot of fun. Visit all the beaches in Florida if you haven't and pick, what you like the best. Thank you.
Benjamin, what is Florida's official reptile?
Florida is very well known. People here are cosmopolitan because here is a place where all the airlines converge. And this is why I chose that, because it is easy to go anywhere else. But those are not the species that we are talking about. The reptiles. Reptiles are very famous nowadays. But I think they still have illnesses like human beings. And this is because I heard on TV that there is a drug for reptile dysfunction. So reptiles are not yes. So for some of us that don't catch all the sounds, I think they were addressing about the reptiles. Okay? Yes, the gators. And I heard from someone that his grandchildren were coming here. The first thing they said, we want to go to Gatorland and grab one of those gators and take me a picture because I'm going to show you to my kindergarten friends. So this is so good about Florida.
Morris McMahon, how many of Florida's castles have you visited?
Maurice?
Very much. I consider myself quite cosmopolitan.
because I have traveled extensively. However, I do not believe that I have visited any of Florida's castles. They seem to avoid me because they're not in the ocean where I prefer to be. Generally, if I'm going to be somewhere, it's going to be with a scuba tank on my back and fins on my feet and in the water. That's my life. I love it. And wherever I get a chance, I'm going to be in the water. So, unfortunately, I have not visited any of Florida's wonderful castles.
Thank you, Ray.
In case you're wondering, I was kind of Cinderella's Castle, the Castillo de San Marcos, and Carl's Castle.
Wow.
Chip Key, tell us about Florida's official manuals. I'll give you a hint, there's 3.
Florida's official manual. I'm going to talk about the most important, which is man. And I'm going to tell you a really quick story of integrity. Many years ago, an amateur treasure hunter was out in the Atlantic looking for treasure, which he'd done most of his adult life. So he finds treasure. He actually finds this jewel-covered crucifix, this find of a lifetime that would have been, Lord knows how expensive, millions at least. Yet in Florida, there's this little line that says everything on the inside of this line belongs to the state of Florida, everything on the outside. And he happened to be right outside of that line. Myself, I would have swam 20 feet. But this guy took that find of a lifetime and turned it into the state of Florida because it was the right thing to do. His name? Anybody?
Kim Glainer. Yeah.
Some things you regret, believe me. Sean Hessler, what is Florida's official tree?
Florida's official tree. That's a tough one. See, right off the bat, you would think it's the palm tree, right? You see these everywhere, all over California. Or maybe the palmetto. I think it's the family tree. Follow me on this one. How many of you in this room are from Florida? You see, we've spread our roots beyond where we started. Our family tree is expanding. You brought yourselves to the Sunshine State. You've set roots here. Perhaps there will be branches. Perhaps a large family, many branches. Florida's official tree, Toastmasters, is the family tree. This is where everybody comes to enjoy themselves. Am I right? Yeah. Okay.
What is Florida's official flower?
Florida, Florida, Florida. It's a very cosmopolitan Florida where everybody comes to bask in the sun and all the beautiful tropical lights. The most beautiful fragrance comes from the blossom, the Florida flower. The Florida flower, the blossom, the orange blossom, which are our Florida oranges. That's our official proof. So here we are, a big great family, filled with castles that are our homes or our castles, and the castles that we make on the sand, and going to the Cinderella Castle, and it's Florida all the way. Florida is the place that I am in, and the place I will stay. So, with that being said, I'm happy to be here in the Florida state. Thank you.
Tell us about Florida's official bird.
Florida's official bird is definitely not in my chest. When I was younger, my family used to always pick on me and say, "Oh yeah, you're so skinny, you got a bird chest. Because my chest was always down like this. Because I was so skinny. But Florida is an official bird, I believe it's the bald eagle. That's on the Florida?
No.
That's the concept.
Oh.
It's the mockingbird.
Oh, okay.
Seagull?
Well,
It's the
hey,
mockingbird.
goes to show you I didn't pay attention in class. What was official bird? What, we
It's
said
the mockingbird.
Mockingbird? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, yeah, it's the mockingbird. Cosmopolitan. When I think of cosmopolitan, I think of Cosmo, the drink. Coming from an ex-bartender, I never liked it though. I mean, it's pink, it's vodka, a splash of cranberry. I mean, not a drink for a guy, you know. It's a real guy.
You tell them.
In Florida, that's a person in Florida. I was born in Florida, and I just don't see nowhere else to be. Thank you.
Laura Hoffman.
Official bird of Florida.
Tell us about Florida's first coast, also known as the historic coast.
It's not there. Florida's, where is Florida's first?
St. Augustine.
St. Augustine. I think the last time I've been out to St. Augustine, I must have been in elementary school, maybe middle school. Since I grew up, I'm not from Florida, but I grew up in Florida. Every couple of years, we'd always have to get on the bus, go to St. Augustine, look around, see, there's no castles there, but there's the fort. Go see the fort. Actually, I have been to St. Augustine once as an adult. The only thing I remember is going to the, what is it called? The fortune-telling machine, where you put in a couple dollars and all of a sudden you get the little fortune-telling guy giving you a fortune and giving you the card. That's oddly my strongest memory of being in St. Augustine. I don't know why, I don't remember the forts or anything else, but that experience. Thank you. Oh, before I forget, I don't really know if you would consider St. Augustine a cosmopolitan area.
There you go.
There you go.
The nature coast.
Sorry, what was that?
The nature coast. Pasco County to Cedar Key. From nature coast. Pasco County to Cedar Key.
It's the armpit of Florida.
Literal.
Oh. No. Like this?
No. Cedar Key, Pasco County.
Your jacket's out, Lonnie.
It's on the Gulf Coast.
Lonnie,
Yes.
pull out your jacket. It's stuck in your pants.
That's a cosmopolitan look.
Looks.
I'm gonna go back to the treasure coast.
No, a little more.
A little bit more. There you go.
Weather day, like, I don't know if her pants too, so. Now, the treasure coast, is it true that your piece is in Mel Fisher's museum?
One of them we know is in the state of Florida.
Is that the one in Sanibel?
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee, okay. If you ever get a chance to go to Mel Fisher's museum and where his piece is, I've been to Mel Fisher's museum, it has a mirrored, amazing display of treasure. I went there a few years ago. Also, the beach area in Sanibel is awesome, sort of like a hidden treasure. Nice, it's not as touristy as well. I have no idea about Cedar Key, but maybe someone else can enlighten me. Take it.
Did I reach everyone who's eligible for tabletop? Did I miss anybody? Raise your hand if you missed. Well, then that calls tabletop. Do we have any disqualifications?
No, everybody timed. Everybody's good.
J.R. Riggs.
You're up, JR.
I almost forgot you. Tell us about the Forgotten Coast.
Well, thank you. I've been looking forward to an opportunity for table topics all morning. And I wish I could tell you about it, but I forgot. However, one of the earlier table topics that I did pay attention to had to do with Lido Key. And I would tell you, I just got back from a seminar last week, actually last night, where I spent time in Anna Maria Island and the area of Lido Key. Went to the St. Armand Circle, enjoyed a wonderful lunch there in the Columbia Restaurant. I think if anyone been to the Columbia Restaurant?
Yeah.
And is it an outstanding place to eat?
Yeah.
It is. So, sorry I couldn't answer the forgotten coast, but hopefully that will suffice. Thank you.
Lillian Cameron, would you like to Toastmasters? Speak. That's your speaking coach. So now did we reach everybody who's eligible? Okay, so do we have any disqualifications for?
No, everybody is in time.
So we're going to vote for 2, and we'll take a 2-minute break.